TBWA has two kind of major strands to its DNA, which make it different to other agencies. One's a thing called disruption, which is, if you like, how we think, and another is a thing called media arts, which is how we take the thinking, the ideas, and bring them to life. We've got something which is a genuine kind of business tool. It's not just an advertising tool. Disruption makes you think about any kind of problem in an entirely different way. Media arts, which is kind of Andy's forte, is about how you take the thinking and then put it into the most powerful forms, the most powerful channels, the most powerful way of delivering the thinking, really. It all started with a disruption where we said, let's disrupt the way we do mortgage flogging in spring. Because every bank has this big home lending push, you know, coming into summer, people buy houses, so we'll flog them money. And so we actually did a disruption that, and you know, we got a whole lot of different information out of that, but the key insight was that it's easy to get a mortgage. I mean, the banks were pushing more money at people, but the tough thing for people was to work out how to actually build or kind of renovate or buy a home. So the process that we came, imagine if the bank, instead of just saying, here's some money, said, we're going to help you understand what you're getting into. We're going to help you actually, and we're going to, you know, show you what it could be like if you were building your own home and you'd borrowed the money from us. And that was the insight, that was the thing that led Andy and the boys to coming up with the idea of, okay, we'll go and buy some land. I mean, we went back to the ASB Bank and said, instead of giving us that money to make a TV commercial, we're actually going to take it to Pukekohe and buy some land. And they went, oh yeah. And then we're going to persuade a company to build a house on it, and we're going to go through that process every step of the way and tell your potential customers what it's like. And they took a deep breath and agreed. Their percentage gain on mortgages was more than double what they had always experienced. The whole premise of the Adidas interface with New Zealand Rugby Union and the All Blacks is, how can we support the team? How can we, through our marketing efforts, do more to engage the New Zealand public? Remember, the All Blacks, when Adidas started, weren't all that popular. And the idea that a German sporting brand could come along and attach themselves to an iconic New Zealand thing was, people were going, well, hold on, what are these bastards just turning up with all this bloody money? And it wasn't that. I mean, it could have easily been seen that way, but by taking that sort of disruptive thought and going, imagine if we flip that, and instead of saying, how can we milk this for everything we can get, that we put it back the other way and said, what can we do if we could galvanise the public, help them you know, understand what the team's doing, get a deeper kind of engagement between the team and the fan, and flip the whole thing.
Well, we started, I guess, back in 2005 with the Lions tour, which was a major turning point for us, because pre-2005, really, we would just do a few posters around the squad, and we'd give them away, and we'd run a couple of print ads and stuff, and that was kind of the extent of the objectives around the partnership. And then we moved into Stand in Black, which was like, you know, this country is going to come under, we're going to be swamped by an invasion of red, balmy army nutters singing their songs and their chants and taking over our towns and our cities and you know, taking over our football stadiums.
Our women.
Yeah. Taking over our football stadiums and potentially, you know, turning the game in their favour, so that, you know, the All Blacks would be playing their home ground but effectively being an away team. So we had to do something about that, which is galvanising as many people we could across the country to stand in black, and we tried to do that in as many unusual and interesting and guerrilla and PR type ways as possible. And so we created something called a Stand in Black Supporters Pack, and which facilitated involvement with people in terms of, you know, wear this, have the band, have the rub downs, have the stickers, the tattoos, wear your gear, sing some songs. In 2006, 2005 was a record year for jersey sales. In 2006, there's no need to buy an All Blacks jersey because, you know, your thinking would be in 2007, I'll buy a World Cup jersey. You know, so in between I'll just wear the one I've got. So we had to find a really good way into, you know, mining the association of Adidas and the All Blacks. So we thought, the team is bonded together, and we can be a part of that. We can bond Adidas and the team and the squad, and we can bond the fans with the team, and we can do that with a really, really unusual way, which is if we can get the team, the squad, to give their own blood, we can then effectively distribute that through the mechanism of 8,000 posters to, you know, their closest fans.
It created such a load of interest, and you know, they were selling on Trade Me for shitloads of money, and it was just became a really interesting phenomenon for the brand, and the team loved it. I mean, the thing that you've got to understand is that most sporting teams go through their sponsorship involvement with gritted teeth. They don't really, it's the only reason they do it is because of the dollars. The team actually get into this. The team understand that what Adidas does for them is at a different level. We have really interesting conversations like, hello, we're not going to make the TV commercial, we want to buy some land. Hello, we're actually not going to do the TV commercial. What we want you to do is persuade all of your players to give some blood. Right, I mean, this is not actually for the Blood Foundation, this is actually for you to help us. And you like you do, this path causes you to have conversations that you never would expect between a normal sort of agency and a client. We've done a website, and sort of the global theme is Go. So we've done a website where we've actually taken the Trade Me database and used some of the connections that we've got so that you go on, you click on an icon of automobiles, and it shows you how many cars are for sale currently on Trade Me, you know, what the average selling price was, or what, you know, statistics that people who are into that market are interested in. And I guess the greatest compliment is Sam, who started Trade Me, rang his people and said, hey, this is terrific, these Visa guys are doing this, how come we didn't do it for ourselves? There's always the commercial imperative that what you've got to do is sell product, build the, you know, sell mortgages, sell jerseys, you know, that's the business. But beyond that, there's the intangible building of respect for a brand, building up profile, but doing, you see, I think when you do media arts right, what you do is you get a reputation with the people that you want to connect with of always being, you know, wonder what they're up to next. You know, there's a sense of, oh, well, that might surprise me, and better keep my eye on that. And that's the stuff that you can't really put a value on because it's just, that's the real juice of the orange. I like to think that this agency has what I call the quality of audacity. It is quite up for anything, really. And I love that because it's a sense of, you know, unless you can be a bit audacious, unless you can, you know, do stuff that, you know, you at times get a bit sweaty palmed about, then, you know, it's, what's the point? Exactly.